Welcome to GREYS, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Jason Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of Great Greys.
Good morning and welcome along to Great Greys on this Thursday, the 13th of February 2025. Got a busy show coming up, catching up with the Shane Train. He's back from his trip over to Ireland. We'll find out all the latest there, as well as getting some mail from the great man. We'll also be catching up with Jason Campbell to look at Albion Park, Hobart tonight. Neil Brown will join us, the Hall of Famer, to look at Sandown this evening. Then we'll head across to South Australia. It'll be Sean Matheson talking all things SA, and rounding it out with Simon Orchard, who will have a look at all of the New South Wales chasing, including the big one there on Sunday, the Bulli Gold Cup final, where Good Odds Cobber has come up with the inside draw. But without further ado, let's welcome him back from his overseas junket. The Shane Train Williams returns to Great Greys. Hello, Train.
Yeah, good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners. Great to be back on the show today, mate, and trying to find a few winners for the punters out there over the weekend.
Settle back in nicely. Highlights from the Irish trip. Saw a few on the Facebook feed on the way through. Obviously, meeting Conor McGregor would have been pretty cool, but what about the greyhound side of things?
Yeah, had a ball, Shorty. Really did. This year we had a lot of things on the bucket list to tick off, and we done them day by day. And I've got to say, before I start, I went with a great bunch of blokes, seven of us in a minivan travelling around Ireland. Had some good laughs and some good fun, Shorty. And we managed to see Ballydoyle stud over there, or not stud, but Godolphin, obviously, operation, Vaden O'Brien's, which is not open to the public. We got lucky enough there to get let in and shown around. And we've seen Storm Boy over there, Shorty, who's now been trained over there by Aidan O'Brien, obviously formerly trained by Gay Waterhouse. And what a great setup that is. There's a lot of tracks and a lot of different stables there, and you can see why they're so successful. Ventured down the Droopy Stud, where we've seen a lot of stud dogs there and pups being reared there. A beautiful setup there as well. Had some nice tracks there as well for training the dogs. And, yeah, just overall good time, Shorty. Obviously, Conor McGregor, I'm not a huge fan of the UFC, but obviously he's one famous unit over there, and he was good fun. Told him we were Aussies, and he started singing Aussie, 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 oi, 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 and got the pub going. So, yeah, it was a really good trip, Shorty. And to top it off, my first trip to Shelbourne Park, which was a great atmosphere as well. So, all in all, it was a great trip and had a ball, and don't wait till next year.
Excellent. You obviously getting to some of the different venues across there. Shelbourne Park was lucky enough to get across to a couple of meetings there, but it was a long, long time ago. How is the facility now? And the night that you went along, were there any stars of the tracks chasing?
Yeah, it was. They've actually they shut down for 3 or 4 months late last year to renovate the inside. So I didn't see the old Shelbourne. It was my first trip there. Really well done up now. They've got 2 or 3 floors there, some corporate suites upstairs. And I don't know if it was there when you were there, Shorty, but all the units that were stacked around the track, there's now all units around there. So basically you can open your front door and you're probably where the catching pen would be situated if you're in one of them units. But very chilly. They had some heats of some feature races. There's no stars there, Shorty, but none to surprise you. There was a lot of Droopy Sydney side dogs that won on the night. So we come out running. I think we backed the first 3 winners, and then it was downhill from there, Shorty. So, but great setup, great track, and you could tell. Not a big place, Shorty, but you could tell with an Irish derby how they jam-pack all the people in there, that the atmosphere would be sensational. They reckon they get 5,000 or 6,000 people in there. I'm not sure how, but been small facility, but yeah, great atmosphere there, and it was good to tick that off the bucket list.
Yeah, big time. They jam them all in there, and like to have the access to those corporate facilities for your big nights when you want to cater to the top end of town. It's the envy of many, and just delighted to hear that you had a wonderful time, mate. But back to the grind now. Time to pay the holiday off. You need to find a few winners and get the team up and firing. We'll start off with tonight's program there at Mandurah. Who do you like on this card?
Yeah, well, tonight's program, Floyd, is a bit of a tricky program, but I thought we could kick it off with race 4, number 1, Not Much Cooner. Winner 2 of last 3, including last start from this very draw, when run a nippy 16:03. Just looking for a repeat performance and should be going back-to-back. Not an overly strong lineup, and I think can get the job again tonight, race 4, number 1, Not Much Cooner.
All right, the second of your plays?
Yeah, 6-1 Osprey Wizard. This dog's been ultra consistent, with the exception of last week when didn't have a lot of luck in them dash sheets from the wide draw. Gets the pole tonight, Shorty, and with most of those really good free-for-all short courses in that dash final, just makes this field a little bit on the light side for depth, and just thought he could cash in due to that reason. Does have a good record from box 1, and I think can go bang tonight, straight to the front, and the show should be over. Race 6, number 1, Osprey Wizard.
All right, race 6, number 1, Osprey Wizard does look well placed with that feature final being on tonight. Slightly easier than what it's been seeing in recent times. And the third of your players to round it out tonight there at Mandurah.
Yeah, 9-2 in her moods. Come up pretty short, this one, and got to say hats off to Tap Touch, Shorty. Their prices were up nice and early today. I done the preview with the boys this morning, and they already had the markets up, so hats off to them. It's come up really short, though, this dog, but it does really look the winner. Runner-up last 3, busting to win a race, gets a lovely draw, and the map looks like she can sail to the top and get the chocolates for mine. Shorty, race 9, number 2, In Her Mood to finish us off.
All right, so In Her Mood, 3 plays tonight there at Mandurah. Race 4, number 1, Not Much Cooner. Race 6, number 1, Osprey Wizard. Race 9, number 2, In Her Mood. First race for the morning here on TAB Radio, not too far away from jumping at Wyong. Only a minute away. It is the Comsies Provincial Maiden Plates over the mile. And we've got a very short price favourite here, Maddie McDermott. They have climbed out of trees to jump aboard the 5 here at very trim odds.
And taking a look at that, the fave Guinevere's Spirit, $1.45, did touch 180, and the next best at 480 out from 370 is Chow Bellamere, and 950 into 8 for Search Warrant. The quaddie is almost 15,000, and they are behind the barrier and about to be placed away for the first shorty. You might have a little bit of time to continue on momentarily.
All right, you just chime in if you need to. Train, before we get across to the first there at Wyong, an update on Iconic Jet. How's the pin-up boy from the stable tracking?
Yeah, he's going really well. We decided just to give him a bit of extra time off after Sydney and that Prad. I just remember Robbie Britton telling me, Shorty, the travelling does eventually catch up with him, and he did have a fair bit of it. He went to Adelaide, obviously went to Melbourne, back from Melbourne to Perth, then Perth to Sydney and Sydney home. So he gave him a couple of quiet weeks. We had that real hot weather, and just give him a couple of quiet weeks, but we're starting to amp him up now. And I think he may go straight into the Perth Cup heats first up. We were going to maybe think about having a run the week before, but just the way the timing is now, I think he'll be just straight up into the Perth Cup heats, Shorty. So he'll have another couple of trials under his belt, and then, yeah, hopefully we can draw a box in the Perth Cup heat and get a little bit of luck there.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Well, it's now 12 minutes after 10. We're catching up with the Shane Train Williams. Train, while we're on your kennel runners, just had a quick look through the fields for the weekend, and Ripon Moses looks well placed there on Saturday night off the cherry draw.
Yeah, he would probably be my best hope for the weekend, Shorty. 5 in on Friday and the 2 in on Saturday. He has been a little bit costly to follow, especially at Kennington, but thought his run was okay last week. Bagnaia showed some surprisingly early speed, and they cleared out early. They were 3 or 4 in front of the rest of the field, but just crossed it, and then he got his wires tangled, and he sort of run off at the first turn. But I think this week, Shorty, he does not a lot of speed in the race, and he does look like he can hold the front from the inside draw. And we hate wasting one boxes, Shorty, so hopefully he can get the job done tonight and get into that final to Keith Harding. It's a great race, and we've had a lot of success in the race, and I really aim up at this race every year. It's a great race to win, so pays tribute for a former legend of the sport, and we've managed to win, I think, 2 of the last 4, so hopefully we can get into the final and get a good box in the final and hopefully go again.
Yeah, indeed, in a race that's been good for the kennel. Speaking of good for the kennel, Curious George has been that since coming across here to WA. Great to see her back in the winners list last week. She drew box 2. It was a good gutsy win from her last week. She comes up again with box number 2. And once again, one of the key propositions is between her and Ballarace, who draws inside of each other. This time Ballarace is on the box right outside in box 3. Sunset Nightjar in 1, but she continues to race in fine style and looks a really good chance again on Friday night as well.
Yeah, it was a really weirdly run race last week, wasn't it? It was they got to her pretty quickly, and I thought we were in a bit of trouble, and then there was a bit of trouble behind, and she managed to kick on again. And that bar race, I'd be glad to see the back of him, Shorty. To be honest, I did have a chat to Cozzy a couple of weeks ago, and he said he was sort of going to aim up at the Perth Cup. So he might. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's going that way still, but it will be good to see him have a crack at that, and then just let her do a thing at Mandurah. But no, they've had some great clashes, and you're right. It's just basically whoever draws the inside of each other gets that advantage of finding the rail first. So again, this is a tough race. They're right next to each other on Friday night, side by side, and you've got other good dogs in the race, Sunset Nightjar and the like that don't shirk the task either. So, but it'd be good to get another win with her. She's been really good for the kennel, and I'm not looking forward to maybe getting her away there and giving her a 380 at Kennington just to mix it up for her. But there don't seem to be the races on the Saturday night for the free-for-all dogs, so we'll have to wait and find one when there's on there. The Sprinters Plate must be coming up soon there over the 380, so hopefully we can go there, give her a trial and a race there just to break up the Mandurah monotonousy for her.
Two other dogs who got in on Friday night look to be in with really good claims. First of them is Speedy Genie. I thought it was a much better run last time out. It does run into some pretty good quality opposition, but wouldn't be completely surprised if it gave some cheek at a big price there on Friday night. And Sophie Keeping drops back to the 400 metres, and that's not a super strong lineup, probably outside of Bakes on Lakes in that particular lineup. I thought it was another that was likely to be at good each way odds that could give a little bit of cheek.
Yeah, I think you're right. Speedy Genie's up in grade. She's up from a country 4-5 to a provincial 3-4, but she does have that good early speed, and on a night she can get the start right and give a bit of cheek out in front. And yeah, Sophie Keeping was just a matter of trying to find a race for her. There's wasn't many options for her this week, so we just elected to go back to the 400 and try to find an easy one. But as you know, Shorty, there's no real easy races to win over here in the West at the moment. The quality of dog is unbelievable, and it's very hard to win a race anywhere.
Yeah, that's the truth. Okay, so that's the latest from the kennel. You've also got a few for us, the Meadows on Saturday night. What an excellent card it was last week, but we've got more of the same to look forward to this Saturday night. Of course, 4 semi-finals of the Australian Cup. We've got 3 heats of the Vanderbilt Stayers. There's a Rookie Rebel Prelude. It is a wonderful card. Corey and the team at the Meadows there would be absolutely delighted with the quality of programs that they've been able to bring to the table.
Yeah, they sure would be, Shorty, and a special happy birthday to Corey, who had a birthday through the week. And I don't know how old he is, but he looks, we might call him 40-20. He's probably only 20, but he looks 40. But happy birthday to Corey there. Happy birthday to Smitty there, and does a great job at the Meadows. But I thought we'd kick it off at the Meadows, Shorty. Race 5, number 4, Unreal Speed. This is a dog trained by Robert Britton. It was first up in that invitation Group 1 700-metre race last week. First up for 9 months, Shorty. Run third, and he probably just peed on his run the last 20 or 30 metres. He looked the winner in the run. That's a great training effort to get that dog up over 700. First up in a Group 1 to run third off a 9-month break. You would think there's going to be plenty improvement this week. And I did see the dog in box 1, who's first up there from Sydney, is possibly having its first look at the Meadows, and that market's been flipped. The red was nice and short, and it's got out, and then the 4 was like 225, and it's hit the 185 now. So pretty keen there to kick us off. Race 5, number 4, Unreal Speed, trained by the Bart Cummings of Stayers, Rob Britton there, race 5, number 4.
All right, the other races that you're keen on there on Saturday?
Yeah, just 2 more, Shorty. Race 8, number 1, Flying Zulu. I've got to say, I was sitting in the betting shop in Ireland on Saturday watching these races, Shorty, and I still don't know how it got beat. It turned for home 2 or 3 in front, and somehow Tim Zhu grabbed it on the line. I'm still shaking my head. He's 8 starts from box 1 for 6 wins. It should have been 7 last week.
That was one of your favourites that got up to beat you too, Train. That's an even more bitter pill to swallow.
100%. I said, where did this dog come from? And while we're touching on that, just a great training performance there as well by Team Thompson to trifecta that Temley race, and they're airborne and they don't have any slow dogs in the kennel, Shorty. But I think Flying Zulu can bounce back. Box 1, 8 starts, 6 wins. Should be 9 starts for 7 wins after Saturday.
All right, and the third of them?
Yeah, a little bit odd, this one. Race 9, number 5, Hotel Whiskey 1. It was in that same race that led up, and they just run over the top of it late. But it's got really good early speed, and I think it can find its way to the front. These tracks on these nights tend to be very quick and suit leaders as well, Shorty. So around the $4 mark, happy to play Hotel Whiskey 1, race 9, number 5.
Okay, so 5-4 Unreal Speed, 8-1 Flying Zulu, 9-5 Hotel Whiskey 1 for the train there on Saturday night at the Meadows. And just quickly on the Jason Thompson chat, big news coming through in the last couple of weeks that the Aaron Bain racing slot has been leased out to Jason. So we're guaranteed to have him as part of our upcoming Sandgroper in the next couple of months. So that's a big coup for WA Greyhound Racing and a big thrill for everybody that loves the sport. Jason Thompson has been the premier trainer for a very, very long period of time. He always has stars in his kennel, and he'll be bringing 1 or 2 of them across for a tilt at the Sandgroper in a couple of months' time, Train. So very exciting times ahead.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen Explicit over here last year, Short. He couldn't get off the 8 box, unfortunately. And then we've seen what he went on to do at the back end of the year. So very, very much quality if Jason Thompson comes over. So that's going to be probably the head of the mark or whatever dog he brings for the Sandgroper. Obviously not far away, Shorty. And neither is the Perth Cup. 3 weeks away till the heat. Snuck up on us quite quickly. Really looking forward to the Perth Cup heats in our carnival kicking off. You always know when the Keith Harding's on, Shorty, that the Perth Cup's not far away.
Yeah, spot on. And it's generally been a good time for your kennel as well. Long may that continue. Great to have you back in the country, Train. They let you back in, which is good news as well. So we look forward to catching up with you again closer to the weekend. All of your tips, of course, will be on our blog as well as in the Jet Set podcast tips page that we continue to put out each Friday afternoon. You can see all of the Train's good stuff there. Good on you, mate. Have a ripper Thursday. Yeah,
thanks, Shorty. Just before I go, just a quick plug to Joe Lanuti for filling in for us one of them weeks I was away. Great job. Thanks, Joe. And Shorty, the Kirsty Moore kennel, absolutely airborne. I want to give her a plug. If you see a Kirsty Moore trained dog punters, don't be afraid to back it. Absolutely airborne. And it's racing against me on Saturday night. Just going to have a quick chat to her before we go around just to let a battler win a race. Thanks.
Yes, well, I echo those thoughts. And Girl Hill in particular, she's doing it with sprinters and stayers, which is a real mark of the quality of her training skill set right now. Well done to Kirsty. Hope there's plenty more winners for her just around the corner. Good on you, Train. We'll hear from you tomorrow morning, 6:30 with Digby and Tim on the Sports Daily.
All the best, punters.
There we have it, the Shane Train William. Toot toot, he's back in business. Matty, we've got the divvies out of race number 1 there at Wyong.
With a search warrant paying $11.60, $1.60. Guinevere's Spirit finishing second, $1.10. Luna Cruiser third at $4.20. 4 even Quidella, $14.50 exacta, $258 trifecta. 3, 5, 6, 7 first 4, $1,195.70. No scratchings and tote pays. Race 2 in 22, the favourite out from 290 to 320 War Ribbon, and it's due to jump at 11:15.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great Greys.
It's time to catch up with one man that does provide plenty of that good oil, Jason Campbell, on this Thursday. G'day, JC.
Yeah, good day, Shorty. How are you, mate?
Going really nicely, thank you. Tremendous to be catching up with you once again here on Great Greys, and looking forward to all the chasing up there at Albion Park tonight. A solid meeting again down there in Hobart this evening. Take us through what you're liking for the punters to step into this evening.
Yes, it's going to kick off at Albion Park, playing race 2, number 3, I'm Peaking. This dog is absolutely airborne. He's well into his 4th year on this planet Earth, and he's had 128 starts, 23 wins, 38 placings, so he's been an absolute marvel for connections. He was really good on Sunday at Capalaba, winning a best 8 race there, and he only has to go back to last week over this track and trip. He ran second, led all the way bar the last 20 metres, where he was run down by Trappeteers, who's obviously a very strong dog at the back end of 500 metres. I think he's found a race tonight where he's got a bit of space outside him, which he always likes, and he should be able to find the front and hold off the fast-finishing Volante.
Very nice. Race 2, and we're teaming up with the dog in the white coat. That will be I'm Peaking there. For Jetta Cutlick, and as we've just heard from JC, very, very consistent, and while getting on in years, continues to front up and race particularly well. Deeper into the program's our best, and this is a greyhound who was good for us last week.
Yeah, she was. Boot and Booty from the 6. She screamed across the field, and more than money did eyeball her, but Booty, she's gotten a lot stronger since she has been up at that 600-metre distance, and I think she can win this final. Looks a bit of a race in 2 for mine. Back Creek Benny, the second favourite, absolutely flying. Did run considerably quicker time than her last week. However, he was very well suited to a small field. He's a dog that doesn't begin all that well. Does obviously rock at home, but back to a full field, drawing wide on a bend start, there's every bit of chance that he could get checked on that first corner. And as we saw with Boot and Booty last week, her best asset is her box speed. I expect her to lead this race and be very, very hard to run down.
Alrighty, so we're teaming up with a red rug for the second week in a row, and hoping that Boot and Booty can get the job done for us there on race 8. It comes up 6:34 WA time tonight there at Albion Park. So 2-3-8-1 tonight there at Albion Park. What about down there in Tassie at Hobart?
Yeah, you've got to kick off in race 3, playing the 8-year timeless miss for Teddy Medhurst. She is an 8-start maiden, however. She has placed on 4 occasions behind some pretty smart dogs down there. I think she gets a chance to break through here. She's just drawn really well. I think the 7-6 season. We've seen him begin in recent weeks over the shorter trips. He does rise up in distance. I think he's going to come out first, and I think she's going to get a lovely card across in the second position. If she does that, she should be way too strong late in the piece for these runners.
Okay, so the 8 there, timeless miss to get the tag over with Stick Season. Stick Season's been running over the 278 and 340 metres. Timeless miss over the 461. If it can get over and get a good look, it may well be able to take over and get the job done tonight for the master trainer down there in Teddy Medhurst, race 3, number 8. And the second of your plays tonight at Hobart?
Yeah, race 8, number 3, Seaton. This runner is obviously quite short, but he's a clear class runner this race for Teddy Medhurst. He's 6-6 over this track and trip. He's 7 from 9. And the only 2 defeats have been at Launceston, where he was a bit luckless last fortnight in a heat of the Launceston Cup. Obviously a short price, punters, but we talked about this dog in box 1 last week, Shorty. Actually, she had let us down for the first time in 10 starts running 4th. Just copped a bit of a check early and thundered home into that 4th position. But Spa, I don't think she wants to necessarily go past the leader. So if you put a pen through her, which I'm pretty confident I can do, this race does really thin out. So I think Seaton, despite being a short price, he can be one for all multis. I think he's pretty much home. Obviously, gamble responsibly out there, punters, but he should be very hard to beat.
Indeed, and I think we can team up with Spa again to run second or third, as you alluded to. Pretty stiff there last week, and prior to that, Spa hadn't missed, so could well just be the sort of race that you're looking to play, that novelties for many, many units, and get yourself a nice fill out of it that way. Yeah, that's how I'll have a look at it tonight there. Race 8, number 3, Seaton should be winning, and 1 Spa to be winning second or third. Looks a very reliable play. Excellent work, JC. The punters that are tuned in, where can they follow your fine work if they'd like to get around you heading into the weekend?
Yes, over on X, Campbell Jason. You can follow me there for my previews that I do on Queensland and Tasmanian racing, and obviously on YouTube under Wolf Den Dogs in the Den. We had our second show back yesterday, and hopefully all goes well. We can have a big season ahead. I didn't tip too well last week, but I'm sure I can bounce back tonight and hopefully moving forward.
Well, I would suggest if it was no good last week, you can bank in a big performance this week, JC. You're never out of form for too long, mate. Great catching up with you this morning. Appreciate your time. Have a ripper weekend.
You too, Shorty. See you, mate.
You are tuned into Shorty and the team on Great Greys.
But it's time to catch up with our Hall of Famer Neil Brown. Have a look at tonight's 12-race card at Sandown. Welcome to you, Brownie.
How you going, David? Pretty warm over here in Victoria. We're going to get a change tonight, so that'll be pleasant and quite welcome as it comes in during the meeting.
Indeed, and we've got quite a good program to look forward to. There's, of course, a big meeting as well at the Meadows on Saturday night. Lots of great chasing, but interesting card tonight. We've got a good mixture of 515-metre racing and also a couple of the 595-metre races 5 and 6, the first 2 legs of the quaddie there tonight. Looking forward to seeing those, but let's kick things off with the early quaddie. It all gets underway. Race number 1 tonight. It is the height night out over the 515 metres, and generally these first races on the program can be a little bit sticky, but there's a couple that are sticking out from a punting perspective here on the markets. Valenzuela for Jeff Britton at 2.30 and Urana Cobalt for Tommy Daly. They're at 2.30 and 2.75 respectively. How are you seeing the first leg of the quaddie from an early perspective tonight there, Brownie?
Yeah, Urana Cobalt I've got on top, David, to beat 2 and 5. I'm going to take those three in the quaddie. I like the solid Meadows win of 30 and 10 last start. Quite reasonably well boxed in the 3, so I think it's the one to beat. Race number 2, Sports Best Final. Gee, this is a very competitive event for the 6th and 7th graders here. Some good performances in the heats. I've gone fairly wide here, made it 7, 8, 6 and 5. It's a good final. I've got Ashton Guitar on top from box number 7. Pretty impressive. It's the last couple of wins, and it showed plenty of early speed. I think it might be able to find the front and be hard to beat. But a very competitive race, 7, 8, 6 and 5 for us. Race number 3, third leg of the early quad, grade 5 here over the 5.15. I'm going to take 4, 2 and 8. I've got Brunelli Striker on top. Empty box there in box number 3 will probably help now. And off that solid Meadows win, I think can maybe be the one to beat tonight. But it is got some chances in 2 and 8 as well. But 4 on top for us. And race number 4, rounding the early quad out, another grade 5 over the 5.15, 6, 8 and 4. Pretty keen about Shimmer Time. Thought he was something beaten there last week, and he's shown plenty of early pace, and so the 6 probably won't concern him. So I've got him on top. Going to take 8 and 4 in the quaddie. So that'll round up the first quaddie. Let's hope we can start with some money in the bank. Moving to the main quad tonight, race number 5. Pretty difficult couple of 5.95s here. The first of them, race number 5 over the 5.95, race win restricted here. I'm going to take 7, 1 and 2. I've got Paul Kilda on top. Impressive winner last start, 34.17. I thought it was pretty impressive, and I thought it would be the one to beat. The 2 on the inside, obviously the dangers. Video referee, honest type, never runs too many bad races, and Dundee Dixie is also a chance. The 2 came out okay in its last few, so 7, 1 and 2 in the first league. Again over the 5.95 for the mixed 4th and 5th graders here. Thought it was a very difficult race. Plenty of chances here. I'm going to take 8, 2, 1 and 7. I think they've all got chances. I've got Navarino on top. He led all the way at Sale over 6.40. He's been a pretty handy dog. That was from box number 8. A lot of depth in the race. There's certainly chances to the 2 greyhounds draw on the inside. As I say, Navarino's got to come out of the 8. But Divine Nature, definitely a chance from that inside draw along with Mahogany. It's got plenty of ability. And I thought Bacchus Bale could surprise too. I've had a bit of luck in running from the 7 box. So hard race, 8, 2, 1 and 7 in the second leg. Race number 7, 4, 7 and 1 here for me over the 5.15 for the mixed stakers. I thought poor Ollie was the one to beat. Been in terrific form. Won his last 3 here. A good win in 29.41. Empty box in 5. Slow beginners in 3 and 6. Thought poor Ollie might be able to find the front early on. The 7's shown plenty of early speed. Could find a position and run a race. Ashton Misha, and I thought Willa Bale, consistent greyhound, good record here, 5 and 7. I'll take it in the quaddie as well, 4, 7 and 1. Race number 8, rounding the quaddie out, free for all over the 5.15. A lot of scratchings here, small field now, and I think we could get away with taking, I think it's between Ollie Bale and Bakara Storm. They're the 2. I was going to throw the 18, but now that whatever tests has come out, it's a small field. I think those 2 inside drawn runners are the ones to beat. Ollie Bale, 5 and 10 from 18 here. He's won well a couple of starts ago. Small field suits for sure. And Boracay Storm has been racing pretty well in solid form. good early speed, so it's going to be competitive. I think they'll fight it out between the two of them. So we'll trim that up and make that a bit more appealing with the 1 and 3. Couple of best bets, David. I am keen about at each way odds in race number 4, number 6, Shimmer Time, 440 on offer there around about now. Thought he got into made a bit of trouble for himself last week, but thought at those sort of odds he was a good chance. And race 10, number 8, Wyong Dallas, young greyhound, heaps of early speed. It's about 320. I know it's got to come out of the 8, but handy wins at the Meadows and at Ballarat. He's shown plenty of early pace, which I like, and I thought he might take some beating tonight. So good luck and good punting at Sandown Park tonight on a tough card, David.
Indeed, Brownie. And just quickly, you did touch it and you threw it in your numbers there, race number 6. I'm pretty keen on Navarino tonight. This dog does like a wide draw. It won at Sale 2 back over the longer distance from the wide draw. And last week, where you did mention the dog, it posied up into a beautiful position and then wanted to get off the track. So tonight, it's where it wants to be, straight away there in box number 8. And if it can get a clear run, I thought it looked a very reasonable each way bet around that $4.80 and $1.60 mark. So I'll be cheering for the Fairy Floss in race number 6 tonight, Brownie. You'd be starting to get pretty excited too. Footy just around the corner. What are your early predictions for the Saints? They haven't had much luck with early injuries.
Got a list of them, David. Every time one of them runs down the race, they get hurt. But, gee, secure supporters, mate. We're a breed of our own. We've put up with, some very lean seasons and some major disappointments that we're always optimistic at this time of the year, David. So let's hope those boys can get fully fit. And our top side will be pretty competitive, I think. I really like the in from our Footscray man who knows how to get the footy, doesn't he? McRae around the midfield will help the Saints, I reckon, this year. So, yeah, optimistic, but it looks a pretty even season, doesn't it, David? Plenty of sides have improved quite well with the draft, and, we're in for some great football, aren't we? And loving the cricket, David. We just keep going from strength to strength, the Australians, don't we?
Yeah, the Test series was good. Unfortunately, they dropped one overnight, one of the one-dayers, but pretty hard to complain on what they've delivered over the last 12 months, the Aussie cricket side, that's for sure. Good on you, Brownie. Great catching up on this Thursday morning. Thanks, as always, for your time, and enjoy your Thursday night there at Sandown.
Thanks, David. Talk to you next week, mate.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
It's time to catch up with Sean Matheson, talk all things South Australian chasing, and of course it's a big night of chasing this evening there at Angle Park. We've got the St Ledger final to look forward to, drawn together some very smart types. Welcome to you, Sean.
Yeah, hi David. Yeah, great to be on the show. As you mentioned, a really terrific field after our 3 heats I think we had last week. Some of these nice young up-and-coming dogs that have been sort of doing battle over the last few months through a few of our series, sort of Brian Johnson series, Lee Rogers series, and so they all meet together tonight in our St Ledger final, which promises to be a great race. And the program is actually quite strong tonight, David. I mean, we've had no racing in South Australia the last couple of days due to the sort of extreme heat. And so this is the first day, if you like, where the temperature's sort of lightened off, and we've certainly got a really strong program tonight because of it.
Indeed. Hot action on the track. Take us through your key plays this evening there at Angle Park.
Yeah, so I'm looking at race 6 as the first of our plays, and I like number 4, Kai for Cameron Butcher. She was a bit unlucky last start in running 7th. She's a dog that does like to be drawn closer to the rail, and she has that here. She's drawn 4. Her last 2 starts, she's come from boxes 3 and 5, both ran second, and did win at Angle Park 4 runs ago from box 2. So drawing the inside or close to the rail does help her. I think she has the speed here to pretty much land second. I think the 3 Boom Boom Jack has enough speed to probably find the rail, and I think Kai just comes across with him, sits right on him. She's a railer, so I think down the back she'll look to rail up the inside of him, and she has been running really well. So I think right on speed at that $4.80 quote, she's going to be really, really hard to catch, I think.
Okay, so Kai, race 6, number 4, some good value around that $5 mark. Second of your plays?
Second of the plays comes up in our feature race, the SA St Ledger, and we did tip him last week. He's Magic, number 4, and we'll tip him again here. He's at the $6 quote, and it's a terrific race, so wide open. You can have a few different thought process around this, but my thought process with He's Magic, he's very strong. He's got middle distance form. There's a lot of speed in the race. The 1, the 2, and in particular the 6 all come out, but they all come out and they don't like to be on the rail. So I could see going to the first turn, a big charge, but they'll all want to get off a little bit. And so I think He's Magic, he'll just find his way down to the rail. I could see him railing really strongly and just be in a really strong position off the back straight. And with his strength, I just feel like the run will come for him. You're getting good value about him. You're getting $6 because he's not going to be in the first couple early, but I think that luck might just play out late in the race for him.
All righty, so we're looking for the strength of He's Magic. It was certainly to the 4 there last week. It was an excellent tip. Hopefully it can go again, do the right thing for us this evening. That is race 8, number 4, He's Magic, $6 and $2. So more good value in the feature tonight there, the SA St Ledger final. And which other race takes your fancy tonight, Sean?
Yeah, it's the next race, David, race 9, and it's the Greyhound number 3, 1 2 Me. Now, we've given the listener some value. There's even more value here. He's quoted at $9.50. I think he'll get out more in this race, but he's a dog with an abundance of ability, but he's a dog that gets back in his races and runs home. Tonight, he steps up to the $5.95. He's had a bit of a slight injury setback, but it steps up to the $5.95 from the $5.30. So we're over $5.30. He's always getting home late. He's run 4th his last 3 starts. He gets that slightly extra bit of journey. It's not an overly strong race. He'll get plenty of room early. The 4, One Last Kiss wants to get off. So he'll just be able to find his way to the rail. And again, the last part of the race is his best part. And he's going to win one of these, David, so I didn't want the listeners to miss out on him if he actually gets up at big odds. So he will be getting home hard. It's just whether or not he can get home, and it definitely is an each-way play for sure.
Indeed. Hopefully tonight is the night for 1 2 Me. That is race 9, number 3. Double figure odds, $10 and $2.45. So really good value. All 3 of Sean's picks tonight here at Angle Park. Race 6, number 4, Kiki at the $5. Race 8, number 4, He's Magic at the $6. And race 9, number 3, 1 2 Me at $10. Give them strength tonight there at Angle Park. Chasing at Murray Bridge on Friday, Angle Park Saturday, and also Gawler on Friday. Who are you liking across the board there?
So just one at each venue there, David. So Murray Bridge tomorrow, race 5, number 1, Daintree Shady for Lauren Harris. This dog's come to South Australia, has been in terrific form, picket fence form, steps up to the 4.55, drawn box 1, just looks, doesn't need to lead, but definitely has the speed to lead, but looks really strong and will be very, very hard to beat at Murray Bridge tomorrow. Will probably be around that even money price. Angle Park on Saturday morning in our time-graded meeting. Light race 9, number 1, Emily Wigham. The box draw is the key here for this dog. Won at this type of meeting a few runs ago over the 3.42 when drawing the red. Draws the red again. Not much like its last 2 from wider draws, so very hard to beat on Saturday morning. And then Gawler on Sunday, race 9, number 2, Springvale Shell. Steps back in distance, back to the 400 metres, but has shown really good early speed here at Angle Park, goes back to Gawler over the shorter course, should be leading and winning that event on Sunday night.
Excellent. So we have Murray Bridge Friday, 5-1 Daintree Shady, on to Angle Park Saturday, 9-1 Emily Wigham, and Gawler on Sunday, race 9, number 2, Springvale Shell. Can't wait for all of that action. Sean, great catching up with you. Thanks as always for your time. Have a great weekend. We'll catch up again this time next week.
No worries, David. We'll talk then.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great GREYS.
Well, it's 12 minutes away from 11, and it's great to be welcoming back to the program Simon Orchard after a well-deserved break last week. I certainly thank Mick Cowley for his time on the program last week, but great to have you back. Si, how was the week off?
Yeah, g'day Shorty, g'day listeners. Refreshed, recharged and ready to find heaps of winners, mate.
Love to hear that. Love to hear that. Lots to look forward to in New South Wales greyhound racing over the next little patch. Certainly, though, Sunday, the Bulli Gold Cup final should be an absolute cracker. Good odds cobbers come up with box number 1.
Yeah, Lucky Frank and Tracy Hurst, eh? I remember when they had Good Odds Cash running around and she was a star. She just could never really draw a box in a big race. I think the National Sprint final, maybe she got the cherry and she won. So it was a story of what could have been with her at times, but Good Odds Cobber has sort of suffered the same fate, really. Felt like last year he barely got a sniff at the box draw, and now all of a sudden the Gold Bullion, he gets box 1, he wins, and now he comes back to Bulli. He draws the 1 again. I think it's really going to suit him. He's my tip in the race. He's the favourite at the moment. Last time I checked, he was about a $2.90 or close to $3 chance, which is pretty good going for Good Odds Cobber from the Cherry. So he's the dog I think they've got to beat. But look, the As a Party duo, Tattooed, who beat him in the heats last week, although boxed a little poorly, is certainly one to watch. And then Past the Buck's the one I've got a bit of a query on. He was desperately unlucky last week in the heats. I think he can improve a stack. He still ran pretty good time. He not snuck into the final, but he got in running third behind Talk About It. And the box 8 record on those one-turn tracks, it's not a bad place to be honest, with so much speed in the race. So I think Good Odds Cobber's the tip from me, but I'm certainly wary of Tattooed. But if I had to tip one of the As a Party runners, I think Past the Buck's going to be the big improver. Just quickly, Shorty, before we jump into some more tips, Talk About It, a heck of a story, trained by Christy Sultana, a son of Flying Ricardo, owned by Wayne and Brad Wakeham. And our thoughts with Wayne at the moment, he actually got news last week on the heat day that he would have to have a leg amputated, believe it or not, due to some complications with his diabetes. So he found out that last Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon, Talk About It came out and ran the race of its life to qualify for the Bulli Gold Cup final. So he's the fairy tale story. He's about $12 with your betting companies at the moment if you want to get around him. And, gee, it'd be a great pick-me-up for Wayne, who I know really, really enjoyed and got a huge boost from the heat win last week.
Absolutely. Gee whiz. Hasn't racing had a knack of helping people get a lift when times are tough, and that certainly doesn't get much tougher than that. So we're certainly thinking of the Wakems, and we wish them all the very best. We Talk About It there in the Bulli Gold Cup final on Sunday afternoon. Lots of other meetings, though, between now and then. Simon, I'll handball across to your good self. You can take us through around the grounds with your better plays over the next few days.
Absolutely, mate. Casino this afternoon, 3-7. He's a bonus. Only a 6-dog race. Spare alley inside. I think it's the best bet on the card at Casino. So that's 3-7. He's a bonus. Tonight at Dapto, 8-3. Mel Manelli, I think, can run the trip. That's the query. I think she'll lead, and then we hope she hangs tough. Dapto 600. It's not the hardest middle distance race in the state, so it certainly favours dogs on speed. And I think Mel Manelli can get the money there. 8-3 at Dapto. Wenty Park tonight, 5'8 Taumina, a dog that we've seen plenty of in the last couple of months, second in the national futurity by a Bees you-know-what. So 5'8 Taumina and 8-6 gets late early. A lot been made of this dog in wide draws. Certainly loves getting wider on the track, and she's, well, one of the most consistent greyhounds we've got, and you're getting 280 for her at the moment. So it's 5'8 and 8-6 tonight at Wenty, and then Saturday, Shorty, all eyes on race number 5, Palawa King. He returns to Wenty Park. He's got box 1, and he comes up in a really, really good race. Jungle Johnny in box 3, Sammy Ethan in 4, Laura Keeping, the futurity winner, in box 6. All eyes on the King after he rattled home in his return to racing last week. I think Jungle Johnny's got some runs on the board at the moment. He's been airborne over 600 metres, step back in trip. I think it's a nice move. So I tip him to win the race, but let's see what the King can do. And if you want another place Saturday, 8-4 Zipping Cruise for Mick Hardman, a dog to follow, 29.6 PB at Wenty, and I think box to lead and can run him into the ground.
Indeed. Wasn't it great to see Palawa King back there last week at Dubbo? We got the heads up from Mick last week. We're all tuned in watching that free-for-all over the 605 metres. It took a while to get going, but yikes, that last 50 or 60 metres, Palawa King was really putting in the big ones. He's been such an exciting chaser. $1 million earner, winner of 31 of his 75 starts with a further 29 placings. He's a cult hero of Australian greyhound racing, and fingers crossed that he can run a big race again there on Saturday night at Wentworth Park. He's one of the dogs that even non-greyhound racing people get excited when he's racing, Simon.
Yeah, you're spot on. He certainly transcends the sport. And there's a bit on the line as well. Jack Smith and Marie Smith, they were a bit uncertain whether he'd get back to racing, but the Group 1 rookie Rebel is about, 8, 9, 10 days away down in Melbourne. I think that's definitely the target. So they're hoping gets through well on Saturday night, and then it's full steam ahead towards maybe another Group 1 title, already 5-time winner, and a dog that we love seeing, and our socials tick a big box as well whenever he goes around. So looking forward to watching him run Saturday night at Wenty Park.
Yeah, that'll be spectacular. Simon, a great catching up with you. Always appreciate your time. It's great talking all things New South Wales Greyhound Racing. Good luck with all of the runners there from a New South Wales perspective as well. I know there's a few of them going around at the Meadows on Saturday night. It's another stellar card there, isn't it? Tremendous to see so much travelling within the Australian greyhound racing scene at the moment. We've seen Queensland, of course, have a stack of visitors from New South Wales and Victoria and WA, and it seems wherever the big races are on right now, it's just wonderful to see the best sprinters and stayers from all over Australia taking their show on the road. And what it's putting together is some phenomenal series, and where punters and greyhound lovers are getting to see the very best in the country in their own backyard. It's been a big few months for Australian greyhound racing.
Yeah, you're spot on. What's the old saying, Shorty? Have dog, will travel. And a lot of the big kennels certainly live by that. Late Night News is one of those dogs going down to the Meadows. And, gee, it's been a heck of a story for Caroline Hughes. We know the Litter brother and Late Night News have been running really good races here in New South Wales. Late Night News then took his talents up to Albion Park, where I don't think he would have beaten Nathaniel Water in that big final, but gee, he was rattling home, and now he goes down south. So I spoke to Caroline, I reckon, maybe 3 months ago, and she said, well, the way they're going, we're probably going to have to get in the car and do a few Ks. So she's put her money where her mouth is, and she'll be one heading down south. We wish her all the best with Late Night News drawing, I think, box 1 from memory in a heat of the Fanabale Stay. So looking forward to that, mate.
Yeah, spot on. That's race 5, number 1 there on Saturday night at the Meadows. Good on you, Simon. Have a ripper weekend, mate. Look forward to our chat again next week.
Best of luck, punters. Hooroo, mate.
There we have it. Simon Orchard, the Olympian, with us here on a Great Greys, where it's now just 4 minutes away from 11 o'clock. That brings to a close our thoughts for this week here on Great Greys. A huge thanks to the Shane Train Williams, Jace Campbell, Neil Brown, Sean Matheson and Simon Orchard, and of course the man that puts it all together, Matty McDermott. Always love his work on a Thursday morning here on Great Greys. Thank you for your company as well. We'll be back tomorrow morning on TAB Radio right after the Shane Train with Digby and Tim on the Sports Daily around about 6:35, and then we're into chasing winners between 9 and 10 o'clock, where I'll team up with Peter O'Neill and Jesse Earnshaw. Look to find you a stack of winners for the big program at Mandurah on Friday night, as well as Cannington on Saturday night. Matty, thank you, and to everybody, many winners for your Thursday afternoon upcoming.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.